That's just. All right, good morning, everybody. We got any wins? I saw a few things hit the chat last night, so let's just go ahead and open the door.
Christina listed a house in Carter Lake.
Yep, Christina listed a house in Carter Lake. Saw that, and then we also had some fire in the chat from Miss Aloha.
Yeah.
Tell us what's going on.
I sold a house.
Okay. You know the next questions. Who are these people? Where do they come from? How did it go?
They are my sister's mother-in-law and father-in-law.
Nice.
They've always wanted to live on the lake in like either Bellevue or Thompson. They have a lot on Kansas in Bellevue. They're gonna sell that now. And then they were like just wanting a place where they could buy it and then their daughter can rent it from them.
Okay.
And then they will eventually retire there and then sell their house in Bellevue.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's why they bought. And
How did the contract go? Multiple offers, just single?
we were the only offer.
Okay.
We got it about 17,000 under asking,
There you
which
go.
is pretty good. And the lady that was selling it, she had only lived there for 6 months, and the only thing she added was a pergola. So the only thing she updated or added in all.
Why did she sell after 6 months?
So I guess she bought it and then she wanted to be closer to her daughter in Lincoln. And so she's putting in an offer at a place in Eagle, Nebraska,
Okay,
and wants to be closer to Lincoln for her daughter.
nice.
Yeah.
So she bought the house, lived there for 6 months, and then decided she wanted to move because life circumstances
Yeah, life circumstances.
turned out that way.
Yep.
So this brings up a really good point. Those people that you're like, oh, they just bought.
Mhm.
I don't need to call those guys. They just bought. Like, it's not necessary for me to keep in contact with them. They've only lived there a year.
Right.
I sold a house last year and they bought $1 million home. They lived there for like 7 months. They hated the house.
Wow.
They needed somewhere to live. They got it, but they hated the house.
Mhm.
So people move for all sorts of reasons. It's
Yeah.
not a timeline thing. I've had people move in 6 months. I've had people that were 7, 8 years in that are like, we're happy. We're not going anywhere, like anytime soon. You'll have both sides, but both of those people are good people that you need to keep in contact with at all times. That's why we do our 4-year. That's why we have those, events, because it gives you an opportunity to call and just say, hi, how you doing? How's things going? And even if you don't have an event coming up, you can still make those phone calls. And I guarantee you, if they're clients that you've already had and you already have a relationship with them, you guys are going to build relationships with these people to the point where they like you anyways. Otherwise, they wouldn't have worked with you. So getting a phone call from you and just saying, hey, wanted to check in and see how life is. Not saying I need something, I want something, but just saying, how's life going? Actually makes a huge difference. And that goes with any industry, let alone just this one. So I haven't been here, or I wasn't here yesterday because I had an appointment. So tell me what we went over. Anybody?
It's listed with people that didn't want to talk or who were pushy, you all know, stuff like that.
Okay.
How do you cope with it?
Okay. And how do you cope with that?
Talk to you.
So somebody gets on the phone with you and they don't want to talk. What's the route to go here?
Get them to laugh.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the first thing. You're getting there. You're getting there.
Make it quick.
You're getting there. You're getting there. What's the first thing you want to do when you get on the phone with somebody and you get that little temperature read right away? You want to.
Speed it up.
There it is.
Get in line.
Get in alignment. If they say, hey man, I don't have time to talk right now, what are you gonna do?
I don't have time to talk to you. See you later.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. That's kind of getting in alignment. But yeah, but you want to do something to make sure that they understand that you understand where they're at.
Yeah.
Right? You need to get in the same wavelength as they are. So, I mean, you could say that and hang up on them. But yeah, you obviously want to keep it quick, you want to keep it short, but at the same time, try to get a little value across in that conversation. Try to see if there's a way that you can open it up. Because there's been so many times where I've been on the phone with people that are like, I don't have time right now. And then 30 minutes later, they're like, and then my grandma, and then, I mean, you can get people to spill. Because immediately they're gonna have their walls up, immediately. If they're those people that don't like phone calls, like there's a lot of people right now, like especially, I mean. Sorry, Jay, but him and I are in a different world than you guys are in. I mean, you call your friends, how many of them wanna answer the phone and just have a conversation? Very few. If you were to put 20 in a room, 2 of them might want to.
Are they your real friends?
Jay and I's generation's a little different, cause we had those cords that reached from the, yeah. Yeah, but Jay and I had those cords that reached from one room to the other room. And you had to sit there and hope that your mom didn't hang up for you. Yeah, you guys don't even know what a teen line is.
Yes, I do.
You do? You got a teen line?
I didn't have, like.
You
we
didn't
had-
have one.
No, we, but I didn't like, I guess I wasn't like a teenager when it was happening, I was more like a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
But either way.
Jay and I had them all the way through high school, so.
Yeah.
And one of those teen lines went, when you wanted to use the internet. But
Listen, I still have an
enough about me being. But moral of the story is you want to get in alignment. A lot of people are not going to want to talk to you on the phone, right? When you get on the phone with them, you know, it's your job to make sure that they feel comfortable, make sure that you feel like they feel like you're in alignment with them. Like Aloha said, one of the best things that you can do when you get on those phone calls is make them laugh. You know, like one of the things that Byron actually taught me, that I use every single time I would call it for sale by owner, is I would turn it around and talk about how annoying real estate agents are to for sale by owners, and you get them laughing and they're willing to talk to you about whatever. Because a lot of times you'll be like, hey, it's Eric from KW Elite, and they're like, oh, you're like, another realtor, I know, aren't we the worst? And then they'll kind of laugh and it'll be like, so okay, since you made that noise, how many phone calls have you gotten from realtors so far? And they're like, oh, I feel like 100, that's all that calls me. I'm like, really? So you're not getting any phone calls, right? So then you just go into a conversation and you start getting them spilling. But that first initial part, if you can get in alignment with them and like, feel free to make fun of yourself. And people will jump on it, laugh at it, and they feel a lot more comfortable. It sets the whole tone at ease. So, all right, we got a good amount of people in the room, so let's split up. JJ and Aaliyah, you guys will go together. Yeah, let's split up. I'll kind of work around the room, and then we'll take her from there. Again, person wants to get off the phone, work through it. This is not a flattering angle.
This is not a flattering angle. I'm so, that was the most. Yeah.
Hey, good morning, this is Jay with KW Elite. How are you today? I'm doing well, thanks for asking. Hey, I'm just giving you a quick call. This is a property right on Main Street. I want to see if you know anybody that might be doing. No, I do not. You don't, huh? No problem. How about you? How long have you been there?
You got me.
Okay, so know where you're at, right? You guys love your house? Right, well, what specifically do you like about the neighborhood? Neighborhood wide, there's, I know,
Do you guys have a list of people?
right, nice quiet neighborhood, that makes sense. Well, let me ask you, hypothetically speaking, if you were able to move someone, where would that
What
be?
about your family?
I don't put it in.
Okay, that makes sense.
So.
These people that don't want to talk to you on the phone, man.
I know.
He's doing a great
I
job.
know it is.
I mean, he's not being a dick about it.
No, he's not. I was
But-
letting him go hit me earlier.
Right, but he's just like, I don't want to move. I don't want to move. I'm good, I don't want to move.
Right.
So what could
Did
you
he
do
die?
in this kind of conversation?
Did he die?
Yeah, specifically,
Yeah.
that stuff, you know, if you were able to move, what would that look like? No, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, I don't know.
So does this sound like a person that usually they
No.
have a long conversation with?
No.
Sure does.
I was
That's
just
what we're
gonna
working
tell-
on right now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell them if you need anything around.
Absolutely. 100%.
That's why I was gonna go, but I was like, man, should I take another question? I was like, no, let's just send it.
You got three fuck off. Right. Fire something that has these things. So you have three, take a long walk for year in a row.
Yeah.
That's a good time to like go straight. Because you can be in the situation and say, hey, you could start digging into that and be like, well, actually I need this, and then, actually my brother's looking, like, there's a lot of things that happen. Yeah, right. Exactly. Right.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. You love your house, you don't wanna go anywhere. But before I let you go, is there anything I can help you with? Is real estate related, subcontracting around the house, any repairs, anything?
Right now, I think we're good, pretty good right now, and I know I'm busy, but I appreciate the call.
All right, man. Well, it sounds like you're good. Let me ask you, do you have an agent that you work with in case down the road you needed some help?
We do have one right now. Been working with them for a few years now, so right now, my family members have been
Good, how are
in
you?
the area.
What's their name? Jimmy? Oh, yes, Jimmy's a great agent. I'm sure you're in great hands. At some point you may need some additional help. I'd love to send you my contact info. If that'd be all right. Is there an email I can send that to?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, what I'll do is when I get off the phone, I'll send you my info just so you have it on file. In case you ever need anything, feel free to reach out. Sound fair?
I guess it's like that, because that open house, I drove the guy, like, I got it information, but he was just like, you can send like, you can see like, the program, and I won't respond.
Okay, perfect.
There you go. Yeah, I had his phone number, All right, I can respond.
I'll let you know, I'm listening to another one of those. Yeah.
I did.
Two bedrooms, two baths, two garage spaces, had the washer dryer in it. It's like 200 square feet bigger than that other one's way better. That's a great opportunity to call and say, hey, I know of one coming up here that nobody knows about yet. It's not going live till next week, we can't get it. But like, I want to give you a heads up. So that's a great opportunity for you to jump on after this. One thing that I was gonna tell you is like you can start making some phone calls if anybody comes down.
I just been kind of contacting them. So, help you respond, and I got ready. So, and that is.
Yeah, make all of them. It's actually it's got a better view car iron, but it's a better place than anyway. It's more updated, lighting's updated, it's got a better view. It's down instead of the brick wall, it's next to iron. It's a beautiful. Fireworks and stuff. And it's only listed at 175, probably. I guess.
In Midtown Plaza.
No, it's in.
But I'm
Park Place, right across the street. Well, and see.
I don't know.
Hey, morning, this is John. Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing all right, man. What's up?
Now just give you a call, a quick call, on some property over on 183 Main Street. I'm trying to see if you might know anybody that didn't move into the neighborhood.
No, I don't, man.
No?
Why don't we do this?
How long have you been in the neighborhood?
Couple of years. I'm pretty busy, so, you want to touch the face?
Yeah, I won't keep you long here. I just wanted to call this if you and Eric like to move into the neighborhood, or kind of what your living situation was like.
Doesn't matter, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So the top part of the thing, what you're learning right now, so this is the first time that you're in a room where you're.
I was talking about
Okay. When you're in, read that letter, you always feel something like, when you're in a room, it's a lot better.
So.
Because when you're listening, in your
Yeah,
head,
I noticed that.
right, in your head, you're like, oh, I can answer this. It's like watching Jeopardy on TV.
Right.
You watch Jeopardy on TV, you watch Wheel of Fortune on TV, you're like, how the hell could not know that?
Right.
But then you're in the situation and you're like, shit, that's no way. Yeah, exactly. It's like you're put on the spot, right? So that's why we do this, that's why we get in this room. to have those things. So one thing I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, okay? Before you get on the phone call, take a deep breath. The person that you're calling right now is your best friend in the world. You're calling your mom. You're calling your dad. You're calling your
Do you know how
best
much
friend,
your current
right?
customer-
So
Yeah.
It's awesome. Like,
Would that mean up to?
when you first made that phone call, you're like, ah, this is Jonathan from, you know, like, hey, it's Jonathan.
That's.
Relax into it, right?
Well, before I let you go.
And then when he starts, you know, he's getting on the phone, no, I totally understand that, you're busy man, nothing wrong with that.
And then.
Nothing wrong with that, you know. You can ask millions of them. There's so many different ways to make money right now, you know, and if you go right into, I wanna see if you guys wanna sell your house, he's gonna say no.
I got you.
You know, this is an opportunity for you guys to pick your neighbors, it's not a time to see everybody want to move in the neighborhood. And then you could also go and, he's like, no, man, I got nothing, and I'm leaving in a hurry. You're like, oh, no worries whatsoever. Quick question before I get up the phone, do you guys have a real estate agent that you work with in case something does come up? You know, not only buying and selling, but also, you know, if you need an electrician, a plumber, a yard guy, whatever this may be, you know, and you have a resource for that.
That should all be kind of like the ending conversation.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's your offer value. Yeah, that's your offer value. So you're throwing that out there, a lot of times you'll be like, actually, you know, you need somebody to come out and look at your roof, like, perfect. Say what I'll do, I don't want to take a ton of your time, I know you're a busy man, but why not you give my information so you have it, and I'll also connect you with that roofer, so, you know, what's your email? Real quick, perfect, I'll need your text, yeah, I'll pay text, it'll be great, perfect, I'll keep this at right now, number, don't want it to be lost. Appreciate it. Have a great day. You jump off.
You better not call me again.
Yeah, right. Hey, good morning.
There
Hey,
you
KW,
go.
how are you?
I'm busy, you're talking slow.
Doing
Oh, talk quickly with them, speed it up, and they start.
So.
What is it done?
Doing okay, man. Not right now. On Main Street.
West, Street.
It's going great. Okay, I just want to give you a quick call. We recently listed a house on that 123 Main Street. Now we're just calling to see if you might know anyone.
You know,
Interested
about a
in
year
moving into the neighborhood.
Okay, what do you like about it?
Oh, it's.
Tell me more about that.
Access for.
What's the story there?
You know, it's just. It's just the
I've
house.
heard, and yeah, I think there's a movie about it, but I've never, is it based off of, go
Okay, and yeah, we forget, where would you?
No.
We're not looking.
Apparently not, right? Apparently.
Tell me more about that. I mean, I've
Maybe
heard
a quick
it.
policy, anybody.
I want to-
Would be really moving.
Is it kind, is it rude, is it indifferent, have words with you?
Yeah, we have.
Laughing, how do you know they're laughing? Oh, that's,
Okay, I'm sure you're a good person, you guys are in good hands,
well, tell me about that, I mean, how do the neighbors or the other residents and you, like,
Electrical.
They don't see it,
it's just you.
but I swear it happened.
I believe it. I don't know why. We'd be having this conversation if you were mine, I don't know, that'd be a weird thing to lie about.
Why would I lie?
Exactly. No, I'm saying, I think everyone else is lying.
Always ask them.
Hey, how long have you lived in the neighborhood then?
Oh,
No,
10 years, it's been haunted the whole 10
Yeah,
years.
you don't, you always like promise here.
right.
Like you'll give me, like, I have two kind of things that I say. I would say, oh, they're a great agent, I've worked with them numerous times. If you were, you know, I've heard about them.
Why anywhere else? You don't think he's gonna follow you? There's only one way to find out, right? We gotta get you out.
Oh my god.
That dig deep portion,
It's
right?
someone,
You can still dig deep in a guy. He didn't really start off, you know,
10 years ago, when we went in this neighborhood before, it was fun.
he didn't start there. So you know, there's certain things you can throw in.
Nice. Nice,
Kind of
very
ask
good.
you what's going on.
Absolutely, I appreciate
But
that.
there's way
So,
more
or you know, words and move again, I mean, we want to
Right.
be similar to this.
So if you go really
Now,
surface level,
move the headless horseman, right?
it doesn't make it think very much.
But
you want-
you have any places,
Right. So if you ask a question like, hey, so, you know, Jay, what's your favorite point about the area? What's your favorite thing?
Really, like I said, just the.
We
quick
did the,
access to the interstate tree
Okay.
farm off, and of course, it's right there.
It's awesome, we wanted to go in the,
place, we're done.
they have
I
the.
don't travel,
I
I
found
find
it
it's like, it's like right off on the interstate, where like, you know.
Yeah, I've been to that.
Oh, yeah. And how would you like it?
Having that 5-10 minute.
Gone more than once, or
Where you wanna go?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So actually, yeah, that's a huge plus.
So we'll hold out right now.
Awesome. So the fundamental words, you can make.
Tell me more about that, just besides the,
My neighbor.
Okay.
My neighbor once to the north of us, or
It's a farm.
I think it's a.
More like active, crazy things, close to home, you don't have to.
Other than that, we got there.
Okay, so next is the first party you want.
Yeah.
Ideally, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't have to,
No, yeah,
Yeah, that's.
Maybe like 5 years.
So you've lived.
No, I guess
Yeah, it's been on there. That's right. Well, tell me, I'm shooting straight. What's specific?
I don't pay attention to much that's going on around the place other than, right in my immediate area, so, like I said, right off the interstate, and like half a block off.
Right.
So I get right to my door and, so, pretty good for social.
So you got the interstate, where do you have your own stage?
Usually
But
downtown.
you have your house, right?
Yeah.
So would you sell that and move?
We like to go out.
Something like that.
Have dinner.
Right.
You know.
So you're able to.
I don't know how they do that. I have a house when I have.
Be in the party. and-
How they do that.
Right.
So, okay, so.
That's a great question, yeah, maybe you had the board item once a buy, because I think if you're above market.
I know that way.
You know, if you saw.
Where
Where would you prefer to go? Well, why don't we?
No, I probably moved to.
Why don't I stop by when they, walk through with the fiddlers, like, hey, vendors, they make it clear, we don't come about the conflict idea, and that would look like as far as just we can wait for you, but it's just more than that, you can decide on it, makes sense.
Yeah, having that heard was.
No, right, we're
Down there?
and it's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
I don't have 1 foot in.
Nope.
Or,
You get to go to the.
after you, for evenings, that's,
And then you see those people that like go to work.
you can still pay that start at that, I think it's up to the day.
Actually, yeah.
You don't have to. It's like,
They live.
You.
They live.
well, yeah, I'll bring my son to the neighborhood, and Michael, and have him all kind of.
Shows Omaha.
You keep wondering. Get out of there. Yeah, that's so good policy.
So in the world where everything's
Absolutely. And, I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
For the.
There's that. It's not great.
Really?
The.
You have to.
The-
go
the
by-
green-
Wait around for that.
Some people, okay, said, well.
And also
but-
start.
My career, I'm old, so I can kind of move around.
You got a lot going on. You have a blog?
Trying to be whether.
You have a blog?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
So, you got to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
We definitely. What I'll
See
do,
what that could look like.
I'll plan on being, I'm at 5 o'clock, see, I had 5 o'clock tonight, see this is something.
But.
Even though I know.
Okay, I just really won't say this.
With my cat and my.
I'm not that good, so it's super fascinating.
And, yeah.
Yeah,
So, maybe I'm.
Okay.
Or is that something that?
That makes sense. And then what I'll do, be honest, is I'm also. That makes sense. I just, this has been a pleasure.
Right.
Traveling back. Yeah, tell you what, and then Eric's like, there's something away from this horse thing. I'm gonna send it for one time. You know what? I'm not gonna set contact with patients here in my area, so.
Yeah, I don't think it's hard for her to.
You have my number,
Job,
anything,
somewhere else
you
you
can
want to
sit and have a meet all. Have one for introductions.
Yeah. Anything else?
Oh, okay, sorry, I thought you were going off, sorry. I thought you were going off, switching.
like, go.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Like, is there-
Those questions. Toddlers. Yeah, my dad. Well, not how I know. I saw him.
Yeah, we do. She's got a cousin that.
And then you're like, oh. The dad's we go on couch. And that's, and then you're like, kid, I don't think.
He's actually a.
You're gonna be in trouble, I don't.
Better known,
Yeah.
No, I've heard great things
Fine,
about
so
him.
realtors jump.
That's true. It's like, you know, so,
Maybe you don't wanna talk.
but you know, you've got things figured out.
They're teenagers the whole time, she's great, that's why Shannon.
What's good, you know?
Yeah, David said.
You know,
Perfect. Sounds good. Like I said, if there's anything I can do to help you out, whether it's nutrition,
No.
anything like that, that kind of guy for everything. If you don't see me on the real estate side, I can be the guy.
That's all right.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well,
Pick yourself up.
I think they do appreciate you.
Sounds good, thank you.
So that, you see how I just kept on like, he would try to turn me this way and have it turn it back. And then he would try to turn it this way and have it turn back. When you're having those conversations, especially if you're
What's
inflecting the most important thing that you have to do. The inflection in your voice sound correct. They sound real. They don't sound scripted. Even though you're always like, if you guys sounded like you want. I'm like, and even when you're like watching.
I'm gonna have to fire my admin, it's gonna be no permission, they can do that, do they love
Have
it?
you ever watched?
Dude, say it. It's not like, it's not.
Give
anything
me
I
bad
can-
information, and then I get.
The only thing that I could give you would be like
But,
3
like,
numbers per
Yeah,
person.
I'm usually sitting like this, where I'm relaxed,
Yeah.
like, you know.
You wanna do that? You wanna play that game?
Numbers per person.
Yes,
Because
Why?
you're gonna get too.
'cause that's how many show up,
You know?
and the odds of
Get
those
yourself
not being
a
higher are
laugh.
significantly
Get
higher.
yourself into an environment.
Yeah, why don't you give us all three?
Make these phone.
Give a little all three,
And when you're talking to
I'm-
them.
yeah.
I'm gonna blow these people up. I need to call them. I
It's harder
need
to
to.
hear.
Call
I don't
me,
want
my husband, and our.
Especially when you grew up listening to these things, you know, they know what you're supposed to do, what's going to say.
Stop harassing.
So the more you go through it,
Our
and
dog
the
is
more
mentally
you get
ill.
used to
Leave
those
her alone.
responses, she goes. Built up. It's like one thing when you're listening, it's another thing when you're in the room and you're having that conversation. Because when you're in the room and you're having.
I
that
actually
conversation,
like.
people
Have you got
I
one
like
for-
numbers.
Figure out how to
Numbers
leverage
to the businesses.
right here, you really have to think about. And it gives you an opportunity.
Huh?
You need to.
So that's not nice.
For the
Be like,
we don't have time together on Slack.
I mean, you.
I'm just driving with my dad.
I got nothing. I
Huh?
have no idea what to say. This is an opportunity for you to ask that question, so help us.
Mhm. Do you have to be there around like
And
6:37?
then you go back and do it again, so you know what that.
Huh?
sounds like.
We're doing stuff after. Because I'll be in Lincoln for a while.
Yeah, no kidding. You dirty
They
dog.
don't pick up. Our voicemail is crucial. Some, you know, listen to it.
But- Actually, I'll get back to you on that, Ben, maybe,
You know, I usually, I'm not a big voicemail person,
maybe.
unless there's a
I'll
specific
just-
thing that I need from that. So like, if it's,
Huh?
if I've got a client that's like, I wanna
It's not
see if
going
that
home.
house is for sale.
Hey, Lincoln.
I will call them and say, hey, you know, I got somebody.
Notice-
I don't know if that's
You
something that you guys are even open to or not, totally throwing this out, you know, throw it up against the wall and see if it bounces back. You know, give me a call when you get a chance, let me know I go away, I'll have those kind of conversations. If it's just what's just told, they don't answer, then don't do
That's
it.
good,
If so, by owners, I leave voicemails, but I just say, hey, this is Paul, they different call about your house on this, so you call back and you have a chance. I don't even tell them I'm a realtor.
Right.
If they call me and I don't answer, they'll hear my voicemail and realize I'm a realtor, then I'll call them back. Or if I pick it up, then I let them know at that time, because if I tell them.
So, yeah, that's why that's my voice.
Yeah.
You're supposed to let people know you're in. So. While I can't.
What if it was like just, like my head, just.
I just brought it.
As long as you let them know. it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's like, I'm gonna know, my tag out, it's
Actually.
Got it on the shelf.
Great.
But then they have the option.
Sure,
They
it'll
don't
be
give
hot
them
out, it'll be bread,
Like,
now my
you
house
did
is
it,
full of
fine.
beer.
And then we'll do is, a lot of times they will, or they'll shoot me a text and be like, hey, Bear, I don't know. Give me a
Have
text,
two
'cause then they're
bears,
like, I
right?
don't. I'll see your real problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just listening to the whole, I wouldn't. I would just
Well, let me ask you a question.
Tomorrow, if you go and get two.
You go into your voicemail, right? I had a photo call.
Yeah.
You enter your voicemail and you.
That was a problem.
Hit the button, now that you're a realtor, you get these all the time.
Oh, how do you know?
You're like, hey, it's John from whatever.com. And you're like, fuck off, John.
Yeah.
Like, you don't listen to the rest of that message. So if you're leaving a voicemail and it just listens to sold, and you sound like
I used to work with her.
you're a telemarketer, and they don't realize that you're actually like a genuine person, they're not gonna listen. So it's gonna be nothing but that.
Yeah.
Now, if you call back again, then they go, that's what called me the other day. I don't know who this is. So you'll be in a better situation than that. And being there, then you would have left a message and given the
A
opportunity
couple
to
of
put
times,
filter.
what were you doing at the bar with your friend's mom a couple of times? then?
All right, let's wrap it up, about 30 seconds. We'll jump back into it.
No, hey,
Good job, man. It's awkward. It's not as awkward. As probably got them the first day and I got it.
driver's licenses.
Vampire.
Maybe you feel real good.
Eric, my cat died. Hello, how you doing today? Oh, my cat just died.
I had that.
Listen, I work for the. I work for the great tax.
Listen to that.
I work with a great taxidermist. If they can save you time,
No. This is a real story,
Okay.
okay? This is a real story. I swear. I call. And this person answered the phone, and I asked for the phone. And she started crying. And she said, I'm at my dad's house. He passed away this week. And I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that. What's your name? And she said, what her name was. And I said, okay. Why don't we do that? No, I said, okay. You
I
know,
work
and
with a
I
great lender.
sympathize, and I said, I'm so sorry. You know, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. You know, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Save the number. Call back 3 days later. She answered the phone, and I said, hey, I don't remember her name, Sally. She's like, yeah, and I was like, I was just calling to make sure, I know you said your dad passed away, I was calling to make sure that you had everything lined up. You know, I was calling about the house, because I'm a real estate agent, but I wanted to make sure you got everything that you needed. And, you know, did you get everything lined up, do you have a good place to go, you know, do you have any faith, do you need a church? You know, I don't know if you live in the area or if you're not, like I went deep into all of that and I literally called and just went through, what can I do to help you? And then she's like, okay, well, thank you so much. And I gave her like a couple different places that I think that do really good services and all that kind of stuff. And then I called again the next week. And I said, hey, how did everything go? Want to make sure you were good. And she's like, we need to sell the house. And I sold the house. But I didn't start with like, I'm so sorry your dad passed away. You're gonna need to do something with that house though. Are you gonna keep it? Or, you know, 'cause that's like, I'm not a piece of trash.
if he died in the house, it kind of hurts the value.
Was he murdered?
Right. Now, what's the situation? I'm gonna start calling out the property inspector, right? No, that like, but my point is, in a situation like that, in a situation like anything, whether it's my cat died, my dad died, I just got divorced, I just got married, I just had a baby, I just lost a baby, all of these things will come up because some people don't understand that the universal answer to how are you is good. I'm great, things are wonderful. A lot of people will be like, here's everything that's going on in my life, and you're gonna get those people when you're making this many phone calls. So, yeah, overall, there's like,
It's me.
yeah, it's me, so,
Relation on anything.
yeah, so when you make those phone calls, what's the number one thing that you need to do?
Stay in alignment.
Stay in alignment, exactly. So it doesn't matter if somebody throws my cat just died at you,
Me too.
my dad just died at you. You need to get, okay, so when I say get in alignment, I know you guys are kidding. But like, when I say get in alignment, it doesn't mean like, you know, oh, my kid's going to college, oh, so is mine, that's a lie.
Oh,
The only one in this room that can say that is. So, with that being said, you don't lie to the person, you get emotionally in alignment with this person. Right? So you wanna jump in if they're sad, I'm so sorry, you know, what was your favorite memory, yeah, blah, 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 I mean, there's so many different ways you can go about it. And what was the cat's name, how old was she, you know, how's the family handling it, there's a whole lot of things that you can do. Because in that conversation, you may not get anywhere, but what I want you guys to realize, and what I want you guys to like really internalize whenever you're making these phone calls, is that your goal at the end of that conversation is to take the temperature of it, but also provide value. And by providing value in those situations, you're not looking for an outcome that puts money in your pocket. If you're making a phone call and you're genuinely trying to help the person on the other end of the line, like I have a client that we were about to sell their house, and she called me this morning frantic, and I was like, hey, let's hit the pause button. Let's figure out what's gonna be best for you guys. We don't have to sell your house. She's like, you've done so much work, and you've been talking to us, and you got these contractors over here, I was like, do you like your house? It's like, yeah, it's so much better now, I was like, okay, let's sit down and decide what's gonna be best for you guys, because that's what's important. It's not about making money, it's not about anything else, it's about making sure that every single person that you talk to is in the best situation that they can be in, and if that situation is buying or is selling, then you're there to help with that. If their situation is stay where they're at, if their situation is, you know, move out of the state, if their situation is, you know, we have to sell because we don't have any money left or whatever it is, maybe they could do a HELOC and they don't need to lose their house. There's a lot of different conversations that you can have with people that don't necessarily involve you getting paid at the end of the day, that will end up making you get paid at the end of the day. Because if you go in, like I've said this before, I've got a client, you'll see him at every single one of our events, every one. Joe Mayer, awesome people, they have never bought a house from me. Their daughter has, their friends have, but every single person that they run into that says the word real estate or buy or sell, they immediately go into, hey, you have to talk to my realtor. He's amazing, he's awesome, blah, blah, they talk me up, I get on the phone with them, it's a transition. So, just because I made that phone call to them, and just because I got in alignment with them and became friends with them and helped them in their situation, because they had a daughter who was in a situation, because I helped them with that, they now send everybody to me. The person whose cat passed away, you could have a great conversation with them, let them get a lot of emotions out, you know, really try to get somewhere at the end of that phone call to help them out. I'm not saying get stuck on a 4-hour phone call with somebody about their cat. I'm saying if you can provide value, get in alignment, have a conversation, make them feel better by the end of that phone call, it could potentially end up being something that helps them in the future. It may not, but if you don't look at it with what am I getting out of this mentality, every single phone call is gonna go great. Because you have no expectation of making money at the end of that phone call. If you go into every single phone call not expecting to make any money, guess what starts happening? You start making money. It's like the way the world works. How many people in this room have been in real estate for a couple years? You. How many times have you gone on vacation and tried to pull back for those last few days and said, hey, I'm not gonna set myself into a situation where I'm gonna be on the phone the entire vacation. So like this last week, I'm not gonna try to get new business. I'm just gonna clear up everything so everything's smooth when I leave, right? That's what you do.
Yep,
What happens? Everybody and their mother wants to buy a house or sell a house.
I'm like going hard before vacation. I'm like, I'm gonna get as much work as possible.
Right.
Before I
You're
go
gonna
on
get it done
vacation.
before you go on vacation.
Right.
But you don't wanna work when you're on. What I'm saying is, all you have to do is tell the world that this is your plan. And they're gonna be like, oh, okay, cool, I'm gonna screw that all up.
Yeah.
But if you go into it with, I just wanna help people on every single phone call. I guarantee you, it will turn around and start benefiting you. But I kept you 2 minutes longer than I was supposed to, because I went on. So if you guys need anything, we will be bringing it back here at 11:45. And